Welcome, and thank you for joining me as I address the state of our university and our vision for the future. In a typical year, many of you would be here with me in the beautiful Fife Theater at the Moss Arts Center. But of course, this has not been a typical year. Today, our audience is virtual, and because the theater is large enough for me to keep an appropriate distance from our talented camera operators and crew, I've taken off my mask for today's presentation. It's an unprecedented time for our world, our community, our families, and each one of us. We're keeping our distance today because it's necessary and responsible, but we're still connected. Our spirit of community has been a source of strength throughout the pandemic, and it will continue to support Virginia Tech into the future. Recently, we haven't had many opportunities to talk about the future. Our university, like others, has been focused on managing the difficult challenges of the day, and those challenges will continue. But we know what to do and how to follow the data and the science to manage COVID-19 in our community. We'll continue to push to find new and better ways to implement our strategies, and I'm optimistic we will see our way through the semester just as we did the last. And with vaccines on the way and the hope of eventually turning the tide of the pandemic, we can once again begin to look farther ahead. In the past few months, our experiences have affirmed Virginia Tech's ability to meet adversity with strength and resilience. When I think about Virginia Tech, whether it's years past, the present, or the future that we envision, one thing rises to the top of my mind: deriving strength from adversity. Today, I'd like to talk with you about how we're doing that and why it sets us up so well even during these difficult times to realize our shared vision for the future. 2020 was a tumultuous year in the United States with interconnected crises of growing political divides, racial injustice, and the pandemic. Globally, COVID-19 has been a challenge that everyone around the world has experienced together. Virginia Tech's response largely protected our community and led to a successful completion of a hybrid fall semester. We adapted our tripartite mission of teaching, research, and engagement to meet the realities of the pandemic. Your response and resilience were remarkable. More than 46,000 PCR tests have been administered since August. Our 7-day positivity rate has drifted from a peak of about 19% in early September down to the range of 1% to 2% since mid-November. Low positivity reflects a complex combination of low prevalence of the disease and sufficient testing. Keeping positivity below 5% is the goal, and we have been able to do that and keep it below that threshold since mid-October, even while the state and the nation has exceeded that threshold. We are building on what we learned in the fall as a ramp-up of our testing for the spring, with an emphasis on mandatory random prevalence testing of students and surveillance testing of high-contact employees. We will continue to make tests available to those who need them, and will also employ testing to reduce quarantine and isolation periods where possible, following recently revised CDC guidelines. We also know that testing alone is not a panacea, nor is a vaccine, but both are critical components of an effective program to manage the pandemic. Our success continues to be supported by our commitment to public health guidelines and the hard work of our faculty, students, and employees. Since the pandemic began, employees logged more than 200,000 hours of work related to COVID-19. I especially want to thank the staff at Schiffer Health Center for their outstanding commitment to the well-being of our community in the face of considerable and sustained adversity. Last spring's workforce shifted to 80% remote after spring break, moving to 55% remote for the fall. The faculty has done a remarkable job shifting to remote learning where necessary and gradually bringing back key in-person components as conditions have allowed. This experience bodes well for the continued adaptability of our faculty, staff, and students as we migrate back toward in-person learning as conditions permit. During this semester, following our extended move-in period, we'll begin transitioning from online to a limited degree of in-person instruction, which we hope to increase as the semester progresses. Progress will be guided by a threefold commitment to health safety, academic quality, and staying within the university's resources. The pace of our progress into the spring semester will depend on the availability and efficacy of the vaccine and consultation with community and public health partners. I'm very hopeful that we will achieve our next normal state of operations before we begin the next academic year. We've learned a great deal as an institution and identified several challenges we need to address, including the difficulties of juggling remote work and study and dependent care. The inadequacies of our accessible broadband infrastructure have been exposed locally and nationally. And the pandemic has accentuated disparities in the experiences of students, faculty, and staff, especially with respect to financial resilience and accessibility. We've also gained new appreciation for the strength and resilience of our community and our capacity for rapid innovation aimed at real-world solutions. The events of the past year have opened new opportunities for technology-enhanced learning and also validated the importance of in-person, on-campus communities and experiences. Our resilience and ingenuity will be necessary going forward as the financial fallout from COVID-19 continues to impact state and university revenues. We were fortunate that the General Assembly did not reduce support for the university for this fiscal year, and we continue to see encouraging enrollment numbers. However, our auxiliary enterprises, such as dining and residential programs, parking services, and athletics, operations affected by COVID-19 restrictions, were hit with a $60 million net decrease. As you've heard, athletics has been especially challenged by the pandemic. Athletic Director Whit Babcock has shown great leadership in developing a long-term strategy that supports our commitment to all varsity athletic programs. Virginia Tech Athletics is an important part of the university, attracting outstanding student athletes, supporting the spirit of community on campus and throughout Hokie Nation, and elevating Virginia Tech's presence on the national stage. It's notable that our student athletes set academic performance records this past fall, with 20 of our 22 teams earning GPAs above 3.0 for the first time. We have a plan to close that $60 million gap through cost savings, government relief, and restructured debt. And the budget reductions we've implemented are smaller than the reductions we initially prepared. A long-term financial strategy is important for the entire university. We likely won't feel the full impact of the economic downturn until 2022, and it's important to be ready. We need to ensure that we can manage our transition to a next normal operational status. What does next normal mean for Virginia Tech and our vision and goals for the future? We are grounded and led by our generational Beyond Boundaries vision and the strategic plan that aligns our goals to our aspirations. While we have faced disruption and unexpected challenges, we remain on track as an institution. I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about our strategic plan, the Virginia Tech Difference Advancing Beyond Boundaries, and where we stand with respect to some of the key goals and challenges. After a few years of relatively slow growth, our research activity and expenditures are gaining momentum. As we seek to advance our regional, national, and global impact, research is one of the foundations of our tripartite mission and land-grant identity. Our preliminary estimated total research expenditures for fiscal year 2020 were $555 million. $340 million of that funding came from external sources, a more than 6% increase over the previous year. Our goal is to increase external funding to $410 million by 2024, and we're currently on track to do so. Virginia Tech researchers are winning larger awards, averaging 13% more than the previous year, and sponsored project awards are up 15%. The Virginia Tech-led Commonwealth Cyber Initiative took off with a $17.5 million investment from the state in fiscal year 20 and has already reported $85 million in active research grants in cyber-related areas. We recruited renowned researcher and proven leader Luis da Silva and hired lots of amazing talent. The initiative continues to establish a network of universities across Virginia to cement the Commonwealth's leadership status in cybersecurity, focused on advanced cyber technologies. The team is currently building an AI and 5G testbed that will support advanced research and development and lead to many new opportunities. Adding to the strength of our institutes and externally supported research centers is the very timely new Center for Emerging Zoonotic and Arthropod-Borne Pathogens, or CZAP, led by National Academy member Dr. X.J. Meng. The Fralin Life Sciences Institute and Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at VTC have played a major role in our COVID response by providing and expanding testing capacity, not only to our Virginia Tech community, but to the state. Now more than ever, Virginia Tech is dedicated to forging partnerships and translating the research and discoveries made at Virginia Tech to impact the daily lives of people around the world. Working together, faculty, researchers, students, and staff, and a team with Link, License, and Launch are making big strides. More than 30 licenses were executed this year through License, including several faculty-led startups. These include Ducker Film Technologies, founded by chemical engineering professor William Ducker, developed a surface coating that inactivates viruses, including the virus that causes COVID-19. Dive Technologies is using research from electrical and computer engineering professor Dan Stillwell's lab to optimize the performance of autonomous underwater vehicles. The Mayfair Group partnered with computer science professor Ed Fox and his team to develop an AI platform that analyzes trends and risks in the legal field. And key industry partners like General Motors, Collins Aerospace, Micron Technology, and Washington Gas are supporting important inclusion and diversity initiatives for current and future Hokies. Launch initiated Virginia Tech's first ever proof of concept grant program, which directly funds projects with the potential for commercialization, and in doing so, seeds new enterprises that will fuel the innovation ecosystem. And you might also be interested in our new partnership with Hardywood Craft Brewery in Richmond that will be launching the Fighting Hokies Lager based on a recipe developed in association with our Master Brewers program in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. The combination of Hardywood's focus on sustainability and Virginia Tech's expertise in fermentation research creates a collaborative platform that will support authentic experiential learning for our food science and technology students. The new lager will be available in the spring, so plan ahead. Also, last fall, the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences established the Academy of Transdisciplinary Studies that will bring together faculty, programs, and courses that are transdisciplinary in nature and employ their synergistic strengths to address complex problems. The Academy includes the Tech for Humanity Lab, which explores the influence of technology on humanity and the human condition. We're excited that Dr. Dan Swee has joined Virginia Tech as our new Vice President for Research and Innovation. Dan understands that the value of research is more than counting grant dollars. It is also about impact. We're glad to have his perspective as we explore Virginia Tech's role as a modern land-grant university. Our presence in the Washington, D.C. area is moving forward and hitting important milestones. We welcomed our inaugural class to the Innovation Campus, which also welcomed a new leader, Lance Collins, as Vice President and Executive Director. The plans for the first academic building of the Innovation Campus received unanimous approval and rave reviews from the Alexandria City Council, paving the way for us to break ground later this year. We appreciate the support we've received since we announced our plans for the Innovation Campus a little over 2 years ago. Philanthropic gifts to support the campus have reached $50 million, and we look forward to announcing additional significant support in 2021. And across the Potomac, Virginia Tech scientists from our Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at VTC will begin working this year in a new 12,000 square foot biomedical research space on the Children's National Research and Innovation Campus in Washington, D.C. They'll be joining some of the top pediatric researchers in the world in their fight to stop cancer. This past year, the Fralin Institute opened its new 139,000 square foot research facility in Roanoke, including the Animal Cancer Care and Research Center, a collaboration with the Virginia-Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine, which, by the way, recently welcomed Dr. Dan Givens as the new dean. Scientists in the new Roanoke facility will focus on cardiovascular disease, obesity and metabolism, neuroscience, body-device interfaces, cancer, infectious disease, and immunology, and more. The Institute's expansion will facilitate experiential learning and enhance collaboration for faculty and students in all of our Virginia Tech colleges. Currently, 33 faculty teams at the Research Institute have over 100 active grants valued at more than $120 million, and we expect to recruit 25 more research teams over the next several years. And the Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine is expanding its class size and growing in popularity. This year, the medical school received nearly 6,400 applications for 49 slots, an increase of nearly 50%. It has developed a reputation as a leading school of medicine with an emphasis on research competency, interprofessionalism, and project-based learning, and continues to yield a 100% residency match each year. It's been an important year for Virginia Cooperative Extension. Extension offices across the state reached out to their communities during the pandemic to help families with financial planning and food preservation. Extension agents even sewed masks when personal protective equipment was in short supply. And our agricultural research and extension centers initiated a research program to track how the virus survives on surfaces such as takeout containers and delivery boxes. I'm excited about the ongoing growth of the Corps of Cadets, with a goal to reach an enrollment of 1,400. The Upper Quad is really something to be proud of, and I look forward to seeing construction begin on a new residence hall soon. We're also proud of the students, with recent graduates going on to distinguished careers in the Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines, and Secret Service. We set a goal of increasing our four-year graduation rate for all undergraduate students to 70% by 2024. Overall, we're ahead of schedule, with 70% of our 2016 cohort graduating last year. And while we still have work to do, we remain committed to the success of our underrepresented minority students, and we're closing the gap, with 65% graduating on time last year. We continue working to reflect the Commonwealth's diversity of talent and lived experiences on our campuses. Our 2022 goal for underrepresented and underserved in our entering class is 40%. That 40% includes low-income, first-generation, veteran, and underrepresented minority students. In 2020, we reached 39%. There's a lot of great work represented in those numbers. For example, last summer's Black College Institute and Hispanic College Institute had to transition to a completely online format. We also engaged in virtual outreach to Native American communities. As a result, the overall percentage of underrepresented minority students in our entering class increased from 15% in fall 2019 to greater than 19% in fall 2020, as we move toward our goal of 25% for 2022. We have a great opportunity to welcome students who represent a much broader pool of talent and enrich everyone's experience through a diversity of perspectives. Undergraduate enrollment is down across the country, and there's a national dialogue about the value of higher education. Prospective students are asking themselves, where will my degree take me? The strength and value of Virginia Tech degree is a differentiator, and I believe it's one of the reasons undergraduate applications for admission to Virginia Tech have increased by more than 30% since last year. Transformational changes have removed barriers in the application process, resulting in more access for all Virginians and a historically diverse incoming class of Virginia Tech this past fall. Included in the 30% increase of freshman applications for this coming fall is a 46% increase in underrepresented minority students and a 37% increase in first-generation students. Applications from African American students are up 65%. Applications for Hispanic, Latina students are up 43%. We are on track to hit close to 40,000 applications this year, which is double the number we received for fall of 2014. The increased demand for a Virginia Tech degree reflects the relevance and value of the work that our students, faculty, and alumni are doing every day. It reflects an alignment with our spirit of service and our vision for the possibilities of the future. A vision that now ranks Virginia Tech as one of the top 25 schools in the country for entrepreneurship. I want to thank the Apex Center for Entrepreneurs and the Pamplin College of Business for leading the development of entrepreneurship programs that engage students from all of our colleges. Entrepreneurship is not just about starting companies. These experiences build skills that support career resilience and elevate the impact of the lives and careers of our graduates. A Virginia Tech education prepares students to be lifelong learners and problem solvers. The Calhoun Honors Discovery Program in our Honors College, now in its second year, has seen a great deal of success. Created by a gift from alumnus and Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun, the program brings students from different disciplines together to explore new opportunities and learn how to confront tomorrow's challenges. As we work to elevate Virginia Tech's role across the Commonwealth and the world, our supporters stepped up and stepped forward and set new records for giving. In 2019, we publicly launched our most ambitious fundraising campaign ever, Boundless Impact. Despite the challenges of 2020, our advancement division reported record fundraising for the second straight fiscal year with more than $185 million in new gifts and commitments. And our alumni giving percentage grew by 2 percentage points to 15%. As of June 30th, Boundless Impact has raised $657 million and engaged 60,000 Hokies in 2020. This is excellent progress toward our goal of $1.5 billion and 100,000 engaged Hokies by 2027. And by the midpoint of this fiscal year, more alumni have given to Virginia Tech than in the entire 2016 fiscal year, positioning us well for continued momentum toward achieving our goal of 22% alumni participation by 2022. It is clear that Virginia Tech as an institution is ratcheting forward in so many exciting ways in the value of our degrees, the inclusiveness of our community, and the impact of our research and engagement. Yet we have the opportunity and the imperative to do more. We must continue to broaden the pool of talent from which we recruit faculty and staff. We need to build experiential learning and credentialing into our degree programs. We must continue to grow our endowment so that we can become more resilient to the changing world around us. We need to focus on affordability for those from families of low and middle incomes and limited financial resources. You will hear more about each of these efforts in the coming year. We're 1 year away from celebrating our 150th anniversary. We will proudly enter our sesquicentennial year with a renewed focus on our core values: establishing and supporting diverse and inclusive communities, advancing knowledge and innovation, providing opportunity and an affordable education, all with a commitment to excellence and integrity. These are values that make Virginia Tech so important to our students, our communities, our Commonwealth, and all the people who benefit from the work that we do, including all the work you did over the past year to support our communities during the pandemic. These values drive our overall commitment to improve the human condition in the spirit of our motto, Ut Prosim, that I may serve. We saw an outstanding example of Ut Prosim this past year when alumni Hema and Mehul Sangani supported the creation of The Market at Virginia Tech, an innovative program to provide healthy meals to Virginia Tech students who are facing food insecurity. But that's just part of the story. Today, I'm proud to announce that Mehul and Hema will also support the development of our Global Business and Analytics Complex in Blacksburg and a newly named Sangani Center for Artificial Intelligence and Data Analytics. The Sangani Center is currently in our Arlington Research Building and will eventually become part of our Innovation Campus. Altogether, this is a $10 million commitment from the Sanganis, and this generous gift could not come at a more important time for Virginia Tech and our region, as Mehul will explain in his own words.
Virginia Tech is on technology's front lines. With its innovation campus emerging, there's a great opportunity to transform the region into a technology epicenter. I believe the Sangani Center for Artificial Intelligence and Data Analytics will be a world-class innovation and educational hub.
The center's work is already being applied in very powerful and effective ways, especially in urban systems. For instance, as the population of a city expands, how do you account for increased numbers of students? Where do you locate the schools? How do you account for increased traffic? And how do you prepare a city for emergencies?
Artificial intelligence and data analytics are changing everything. How we make decisions, how we shop, how we travel, how we understand our world around us.
Technology is moving fast and affecting so much of our world. The talent gap is a unique challenge, and the Innovation Campus and the Sangani Center will help Virginia Tech meet that challenge.
Virginia Tech brings together today's brightest minds and students to shape a better world for tomorrow, and the tech talent pipeline that grows from the Sangani Center and Innovation Campus will help lead for generations to come.
Thank you, Mehul and Hema. What a great way to begin 2021, and we have so much to look forward to. Our continuing development in Blacksburg and Roanoke and the Innovation Campus in the DC region, welcoming new talent, exploring new ideas, and taking Virginia Tech to new heights. And the opportunity to come together as a community, finally, face to face again. This is a great year to be a Hokie. Let's get started, and let's go Hokies.